Hey, what's up? How's it going? So a few weeks ago, I got a new phone, which has been awesome. But when I was getting this phone, I nearly knocked my entire family out of our phone plan. So about 3 weeks ago, I started looking for a new phone, and the iPhone XR was actually coming out that week, so I decided that was the one I was going to get, and I was going to order it on the day it came out, because I didn't really feel like pre-ordering it. I also had to get my dad on the phone to order it with me. He's the owner on the account, so he's the one with the payment information and everything. So he needed to be there to authorize this purchase of a phone on a monthly basis. I had also mentally prepared myself to get it mid the next week because I was not really expecting them to be in stock at all on Friday. But lo and behold, when I checked midday on Friday, they not only had some in stock online, but they had them in stock in stores near me, and I was so excited because that meant I could go and pick up a phone that night. So when I got out of work that afternoon, I called my dad and I was like, hey, can we order this phone so I can pick it up in stores today? And he's like, okay, I can't do it now, but call me in a little bit and we'll order it. And I was like, okay, sounds good. It's still in stock, shouldn't have a problem. Anyway, about an hour before the store closed, I called my dad again and I was like, yo, can we order this now? Because I can still pick it up if we order it now. And he's like, oh, okay, I guess, fine. So he goes and we conference into Verizon, together on the phone. And we start talking to them and we try and order it so I can go pick it up that night in stores. And the guy tells us, oh, you need an authorized user in stores with you when you go to pick it up. Now, I don't live with my parents anymore, so it would have been a huge hassle and we wouldn't have been able to make it to the store in time if I had to bring my dad to the store with me. So we decide, okay, whatever, we'll just ship it to my house and I'll get it early next week. So we order the phone. It's gonna come Monday or Tuesday the next week. The only thing he tells me on the phone about it is you don't need to put in a SIM card. It comes preloaded. The one thing you have to do is turn your old phone off before you turn your new phone on. So Monday comes, I get the phone on Monday, which is the earlier of the 2 delivery days. And I'm excited, but I'm also in the middle of something. So I decide I'm not going to turn it on right now. I'm just going to take a look at it, put it back in the box, and turn it on that evening when I got home. I took a look at it, awesome. I went to put it back in the box, hit the power button on the way back into the box. Now this phone's turning on. I know I can't turn it off. I had to turn my old phone off. I nearly messed up the one rule he told me, but I made it. And I went to go set this up. And I make it 2 screens into the setup when it's you need an account admin password. And I'm kind of pissed at this point because this dude knew I was not an account admin. He knew I couldn't pick it up in stores because I wasn't an account admin. We took my dad's name off my package and I was the one who gave the payment information for the tax. But somehow he neglected to tell us we needed the account password or whatever. So I see this password screen and I start to freak out. I could have had it before. I didn't have it now. I'm okay, maybe it's my password. So I type in my password. It gives me nope, you're wrong. I'm god damn it. Now I have to decall my dad and figure out this password. Anyway, so it's about 1 p.m. I'm trying not to freak out. I could have had this done before had I known, but whatever. I decide I'm going to call my dad on my friend's phone. I borrow my friend's phone, call my dad. He doesn't answer. Whatever, he's probably at work. He gets out at 3 o'clock. So I decide I'll wait till 3:34 to call him and then see if he answers then. At 3:30, 4 o'clock, I go to a different friend and I'm yo, I'm stuck in between phones. Can I please borrow yours to call my dad? And he's haha, that's really funny, but yeah, here you go. So he gives me his phone. I call my dad. He doesn't answer again. I'm okay, maybe he's just not recognizing the number. So I call my dad again, trying to leave a voicemail. And his voicemail box is full. So I can't even leave him a voicemail. My friend's why don't you just text him on my phone? It's all right. I'm okay, whatever. That's weird, but whatever. So I text my dad on my friend's phone, go back to doing whatever I was doing, and then finally, a half hour, my dad answers. And he's oh, what do you need? And I'm yeah, I need this password because I accidentally turned on the new phone. And it needs a password. He's like, oh, well, I can't talk right now, but I'll call you later. And I was like, I'm in the middle of a freaking group project, like, don't have a lot of time to just sit around. But like, there was nothing I could do about it, so I was like, okay, whatever. I'll talk to him later, try and get the password later. But like, I still really don't want to wait, and I want to get this group project thing figured out. So I'm like, okay, I'll call my mom, see if she knows what's up. So still using my friend's phone, which I've had for like 30 minutes now. I call my mom, she doesn't answer. I'm like, maybe she too thought it was a random number. So I call her again, thinking I'm gonna leave a voicemail, and she picks up because she's like, yeah, it was a random number, but I figured if they called twice in a row, it was something important. And I was like, yeah, no, it's me. And she's like, oh my god, is everything all right? And I'm like, yeah, no, I literally just am an idiot and got myself stuck in between phones. So I'm on my friend's phone right now. And she's like, oh, that's all right. And I ask her for the password, and she's like, I'm not entirely sure, but I saw it this morning. So she gives me her 2 guesses, and I type one into the phone immediately, and it tells me, oh, you need to go connect to iTunes. Now, I didn't realize that was a bad thing. I just thought maybe that's like the second half of setting up your new iPhone. So I had a Samsung before, so I like really had no idea what this process was supposed to look like. So I was like, okay, I need to connect to iTunes, whatever. Thank you. I'll put in your second guess if this one's wrong. I connect to iTunes. It tells me the password's wrong, and I'm like, okay, that's annoying, but whatever. I try her second guess, and it tells me it's wrong and that I need to call Verizon now, because I had apparently run out of guesses trying to set up my new phone. Mind you, my phone is connected to my entire family's Verizon account, so I potentially could have screwed up their entire account. Yikes. I go get my friend's phone back from him. I go to call Verizon, and I can't even get to a person because you need the account password to get to a person to tell them what phones you're talking about. I hang up from Verizon, like absolutely unsure of what the hell I'm gonna do, when my dad texts me, I'm free, call me. I call him, he's like ready to give me a password thinking that's all I need. I'm like, yo, I'm way past passwords at this point. Like, we need to call Verizon. I fucked up real bad, guessed one too many times. And he's like, are you fucking serious right now? But he conferences us into Verizon again, and he's like talking to the lady, and we're getting my phone set up, and he gives her like whatever information she needs, and she's trying to get me through this like whole process, and I have to turn my phone on and off like 10 times. And the first time she asked me to turn it off, I like look down at my phone for a minute, and I look up and I'm like, the fuck do I turn this off? Because like for past iPhones, how you turn it off is you press the home and the side and you hold it, and that's how you turn it off. But since the iPhone 10s don't have home buttons, I had absolutely no idea what I was supposed to do. So I literally had to ask the lady on the phone, like, hey, how do I turn this off? And she's like, oh, you press the volume and the side buttons. I'm like, I'm trying that. It's not working. She had to Google it after that and was like, oh, you just press the top volume and the side button. And I was like, oh, thank God. But I felt like an idiot for that bit. And then I had to turn it on and off like 7 more times, and finally it gets set up and it looks like it's working. So we hang up from Verizon. I hang up on my friend's phone. I give it back to him. I call my dad on my phone, and he's talking to me. He's like, did you seriously almost lock us out of Verizon because you couldn't wait for me to give you the password? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, why did you think it was a good idea to guess our password like 7 times? And I was like, yeah, it didn't give me a limit, so... And he's like, oh my god, just like never guess my password again. And I'm like, yep, nope. Yeah, that's fair, that's fair. But I turned a process that was supposed to take 10 minutes into like 3 hours, and nearly locked my entire family out of our Verizon plan. Mind you, all of this could have been avoided had the guy on the phone initially told me we needed a password, but you know, whatever. I also finished my group project and it turned out fine, so overall everything went well. I just really didn't go about that one in the smartest way. Anyway, that's my life and how I screw things up. Thank you for watching. Yeah, I did also dye my hair, and I've had this for a while. I just put a ring in it. Yeah, that's about it.